You know, for literally centuries, we've used these simple stories to try and get a handle on life's biggest questions. And today, we're going to dive into two of the absolute classics. A couple of stories about mice, of all things, that make us ask some really big, really human questions about how we live our lives. So, first up, we've got this huge question. What is true strength, really? Is it just about being the biggest and the most powerful, the one who can dominate everyone else? Or is it something different, something maybe hidden where you'd least expect it? And of course, there's the flip side to that coin. What about true happiness? I mean, do you find it in all the fancy stuff, the luxury, the constant excitement, that feeling of always having more? Or is it maybe found in the simple things, in safety, in just peace of mind? Look, these are not new questions, right? For generations, people have been looking for the answers in these two amazing, timeless stories. So let's do just that. Let's break down the wisdom that's kind of hidden inside, and we'll start with a really surprising lesson about power and mercy. All right, our first story. It's all about this pretty unbelievable meeting between, the king of the jungle and its absolute smallest resident. It's a total classic, and it's one that really makes you rethink everything you thought you knew about where power actually comes from. So it all kicks off with this little mouse who, well, he's got a chip on his shoulder. He's got something to prove. See, all the other animals are always calling him a coward. And one day, he just snaps. He's had it. He decides he's going to do something so crazy, so completely reckless, that nobody will ever, ever call him a coward again. And what's his grand plan? Well, he spots this huge lion, totally passed out after a big meal. And just to show off to his friends, he scampers right up the lion's tail, gets onto his back, and just stands there, all triumphant. And for a second, it's working. He's the hero. And then the lion's eyes pop open. Oh man, the lion is not happy. I mean, can you imagine? His nap just got ruined by this tiny little pest. His first thought is super simple. I'm gonna eat this thing. And just like that, the mouse is caught. He's terrified, and he is 100% at the mercy of the lion. So, in total desperation, the mouse just begs for his life. And then he makes this promise that sounds absolutely ridiculous. He, this tiny little mouse, promises that maybe, just maybe, one day, he can help the king of the jungle. Yeah, right. And the lion's reaction? It tells you everything you need to know. He doesn't believe the mouse for a single second. I mean, the whole idea is so funny to him that he just starts laughing. He's so amused by the nerve of this little guy that he decides, you know what, I'll let you go. And just like that, he lets him run off. Okay, so a long time passes. The lion has totally forgotten about that mouse. But then, fate steps in. One day, the lion's out looking for food, and bam! He gets caught in a massive hunter's net. He is completely, hopelessly trapped. He lets out this incredible roar that just shakes the entire jungle. But for all his power, for all his strength, he's helpless. All the other animals, they hear him, but they are way too scared of the hunters to even think about getting close. The mighty king is all alone. But wait, one creature does come. That same little mouse hears the roar, and he remembers that promise. He runs as fast as he can to the trap and does the one thing the powerful lion can't do for himself. He starts chewing through those thick ropes with his tiny, sharp teeth, one strand at a time, until, finally, the lion is free. And this is where we get the huge lesson, right? The lion's greatest show of strength wasn't his roar, it wasn't his claws. It was that one moment of mercy he showed. It just goes to show you that kindness isn't a weakness. Not at all. It's a totally different kind of power, one that can build alliances where you'd never, ever expect them. Okay, let's switch gears. Our second fable changes the subject completely. We're moving away from how we treat other people and turning inward to a much more personal question. How do you and how do we define what a good life even is? And right away, you can see the main conflict here. On one hand, you've got the country mouse's life. It's simple, sure, it's predictable, but it's also super safe. And on the other hand, you've got the city mouse. His life is all about fancy feasts and constant excitement, but there's always danger lurking around the corner. So the story kicks off when the city mouse goes to visit his cousin in the country, and honestly, he's horrified. He just can't wrap his head around how simple everything is. So he makes this invitation, but it's really more of a judgment, you know? He promises this life of luxury that's going to make the country look just awful by comparison.
So the country mouse heads to the city. And at first, it's amazing. It's everything he was promised. We're talking feasts of cheese, pastries, the whole deal. But right as they dig in, a cat shows up out of nowhere and they have to scramble for their lives. A little while later, they try again, but this time, the humans come home and they have to hide in terror. Every single bit of luxury comes with a side of pure fear.
And that's it. That is the final straw. The country mouse has this huge light bulb moment. All this fancy food, it is just not worth being scared all the time. So he makes a choice. And it's not a choice for more stuff, it's a choice for peace. And the lesson here is so powerful, isn't it? It's that happiness isn't always about having more money or more excitement. Sometimes it's just about feeling secure and content. It's a great reminder that what looks like the good life from a distance can actually feel like a cage of anxiety when you're living it.
So there you have it. Two fables, two really powerful, but also really different ideas about how to live your life. So what happens if we put them right next to each other? Let's see what happens when these two worldviews clash. When you break it down like this, you really see the core difference, don't you? The lion and the mouse, that's all about how we affect the world around us. It's about how we treat others. But the town and country mouse, that one's all internal. It's about what we value for ourselves. And this is where it gets really interesting. The first story tells us to be merciful, to connect with the world. The second one, it tells us to pull back from danger, to put our own peace first. The threat in the lion's story is a real physical net. But in the second story, the real danger is our own desire for more. It's like a trap we build for ourselves. So why are we still talking about these ancient stories? I mean, why do they still feel so relevant? Well, it's because the lessons in them are absolutely timeless. So let's connect the dots and figure out what they really mean for us, right here, right now. When it comes down to it, these stories are like two different blueprints for living a good life. The lion story, it's a huge reminder that in our crazy connected world, whether we're online or in our neighborhoods, even a small act of kindness can have gigantic, unpredictable results. True strength isn't about being the loudest voice in the room. It's about having the wisdom to be merciful. But then you have the country mouse's story, and man, is that relevant today. In a world that's always screaming at us to want more, to be more ambitious, this story is a powerful way of saying, hey, you get to define your own success. It's about choosing your own peace of mind over that stressful chase for more. It's about being secure enough to actually enjoy what you have, instead of always being afraid you're about to lose it. And so that leaves us with one final thing to think about. In our own lives, right? We have moments where we need to be the lion and moments where we need to be the country mouse. We need both kinds of wisdom. So the question for you is, which one are you leaning towards? Which mouse will you be? The one who takes a risk to help a lion, or the one who chooses peace over a party? In the end, how we answer that, well, it kind of defines who we are.